until the evening because he has homework and he has to wake up early. But he loved Nabil, so he wanted to hang out. And that's what stayed longer in the shop that particular night.
Yes, I need some help over here in the health mark. The cook over here, it looks like he's been shot. Yeah, he's bleeding. There's blood all over the floor. Okay. Is he completely alert? Is he responding at all? No, he's just moaning. There's two of them. There's two of them. Both of them died. Oh, there's two people. There's two.
Police department responded to the location, and one of their officers found the two victims that had been shot behind the cash register. And a third victim he found lying face down outside of the cash register area.
It was apparent that the one outside of the counter area had already died. The other two were immediately worked on and transported to the hospital.
Captain Paula Dance and Detective Shannon Stewart from the Pitt County Sheriff's Office head to the scene.
In behind the area where the cash register was and saw separate areas of pool blood, I knew that this was very, very serious. There was one person still inside that was deceased. We discovered a wallet. And the ID was in the name of Jabber Allah. We located 9mm shell casings, scattered money about on the floor.
The register was opened. The safe appeared to still be open as well.
If you go out the front door, it appeared that some money had been dropped. That the people that were responsible for this crime had parked on that side of the store.
Any cameras?
Having footage of the vehicle itself would be one more thing that would lead us to the perpetrators of this crime. But there were no cameras on that side of the building. I got a phone call from a detective who was at the hospital.
We were notified that Nabil, who was the brother of the store owner, was deceased, and Sam, the 16-year-old who was the son of the owner, had also died.
Mike was absolutely devastated about the loss of his son and his other family members. And honestly, I don't know that he ever will recover from that. This official news, a triple homicide.
We just were not used to anything of this nature happening, and specifically in an area where everyone just knew everyone.
Investigators turn to their only witness.
Every area of the store had cameras. And I could actually see myself on the monitor live. And at that moment, I was like, God, please let this thing be recorded. We were hoping and praying that that camera had caught what had occurred inside the store.
The footage is queued up to a few minutes before the 911 call.
There were angles every direction, aiming at that door, aiming at the area behind the counter, even aiming at the area in the back of the store. As we watched that, we had a sense of dread of watching the last moments of their lives and realizing, these guys just had no clue what was coming.
Person entered the store armed with a handgun, pointing it at Sam and Nabil behind the counter. See another man come in with a firearm, and then a third come in. Person number one makes his way around to come behind the counter. Sam and Nabil immediately went down to their knees, put their hands on top of their head, and submitted. They did not give any resistance whatsoever. Is behind the counter. He's going through the cash register, emptying out the cash. Goes back out over the counter, bends down and picks up money that he dropped on the floor, and exits out the store.
A robbery. 3 people dead, and they were gone in a minute and a half.
In a 30-year career that I've had in law
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Footage of these executed as they were is probably the most horrific thing that I've seen.
Are you sure you want to leave this hospital?
To become a nurse was a little girl's dream.
We knew that we had
But in the end, I don't feel that useful.
killer on our hands.
I want more. I want to make things
We
change.
needed to get these people off the street as soon as possible before they could do harm to anyone else.
You should be proud of what you've achieved. This hospital represents hope for many people in need of help.
Maybe you're right. But at the moment,
Hey, bro.
I feel like we're just a cemetery waiting
Somebody
room.
calls me and he says something happened in North Carolina.
What steps are you prepared to take to feel more useful?
I don't know yet.
Basically, Nabil is not
My sister
alive.
believes that the real fight is in the streets nowadays. Maybe she's right. Maybe this is what I must do.
And what about Milton Hooks? Does he share your point of view?
For Milton, any change means more comfort and more peace. I disagree.
Not to have that anymore.
If you feel that saving lives is not useful enough,
Indescribable.
perhaps it means that you've lost faith.
On the contrary, my faith has never been stronger. Maybe we are all just too proud to face up to the fact that science cannot compete with God.
We wanted to see who was responsible for it. What were they wearing?
Goodbye.
What type of weapons did they use?
All three had bandanas that were covering the majority of their faces. So that was going to be a hindrance.
Okay, let's start with the shooter.
Rewind. Freeze it there.
Suspect number one had very distinct clothing. A blue striped plaid shirt.
Zoom in.
The red, white, and blue hat that he was wearing was actually a Montreal Expos hat. Been a baseball fan all my life, and I knew what I was seeing when I saw it. That looked like a Smith & Wesson semi-automatic handgun. And we knew that the caliber was a 9mm based off of the shell cases. It's clear that the first person in the store, he's in control. He's the shooter. He executes all.
It was very obvious who was running the show.
Okay, let's look at the guy at the counter.
The second individual in the store was wearing black sweatpants and a black hoodie.
It was obvious from his reaction when the first shot was fired, he jumped. And it was apparent he was shocked. They said, and he ran out the door.
Third individual in had on a pair of long red shorts and a black hoodie.
Let's play it again.
You know, it's just like a movie you watch for the third time and you always see something that you didn't see before.
Stop it there.
When he was going over the counter, suspect number one, his bandana did come down off his face to a brief second.
I
And it
cannot
was just a
enter.
brief moment to make an identification in the case.
A clip of the three suspects is released to the media.
Getting that information out to the
There you
public,
go.
our main goal was that someone is going to see these people and would recognize who they are.
We weren't just dealing with the average shoplifter here. We were dealing with people who were brazen enough to kill for what they wanted.
We started getting...
Please, Jonathan, come in.
Everybody was working this thing as hard as they could.
Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death.
Stated that they knew who these three individuals were.
You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, the brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea. but my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at the serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
There is an absurd poetry to my situation. Physician, heal thyself.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
You told me about the guy that was scared. Probably shot one guy, and then shot the other guy, and the other guys he was leaving. That stuff we haven't released to the media. That stuff only people that were there would know. I think you were there. I don't think you were the trigger man. I think you were there alone. Maybe you got
There is no need to
maybe
apologize, Edgar.
Maybe you thought you can
You offered me sanctuary when I had none.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan. Something that will require all your newfound skills.
Please, go on.
From Saturday night.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what we need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that revealed would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
By the soul, of course not. I would just like you to pay her a visit. Her ladyship is certainly near the tents outside, tending the sick. You can't miss her. Look for someone impossibly delicate.
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble Lady Ashbury is in.
So many people from the surrounding cities came together, especially the Yemeni and the Arabic community. They brought the 3 caskets to the mosque, and they did a prayer for those 3 beautiful people. My soul was hurted, and I wasn't ready to